tell you this, on a more serious note, this is something I'm dealing with in my life. I recently found out that the girl I'm dating, her ex is a Navy SEAL. That sucks. That sucks dick, dude. That's the worst ex of all time. I never even thought it. You want to feel insecure as a man? That's the worst. I never even thought of that one as like that could happen to me. I spent my whole life thinking, black guy, worst case on this. And by the way, I mean that with all due respect to the black community, dude. For real, I wish people feared my dick like that. I wish my dick struck fear into entire races. Nobody fears my dick, dude. Nobody fears my dick. Other than like women in parking garages, they... You get me in a parking garage, all of a sudden my dick's top of the food chain. See me lurking behind a pillar in there, just with a GameStop bag. Nah, dude, Navy SEAL. It's a tough one. I do this thing, it's not a good thing, but whenever I'm dating a girl, I always talk shit on her exes. It's not a good look. Women don't respect it. Kind of makes me look like a bitch. I like it. I can't stop doing it. And normally it's easy. Normally it's like, what's your ex do? He's a fucking substitute teacher. It's weird he wants to hang out with kids like that bad. You know, like, this one's tough. This is a tough ex to make fun of. Just when I'm walking around the apartment all day, just fucking Navy SEALs. They're kind of pussies if you really think about it. You know what I mean? Like using night vision, sneaking up on guys. That's a fucking coward's way to fight, dude. You know who's actually brave? Al-Qaeda. That takes courage and bravery. Just in pajamas, throwing rocks at tanks. Heroic shit, dude. Just you and your boys going out. In flip-flops. You're all gonna get fucked up, dude. No training. Zero military training, dude. Those guys, those dudes, they had one set of monkey bars. That's what they all trained on. And they were proud of the monkey bars. You remember that video? You've seen them using the monkey bars. They filmed themselves using the monkey bars and then sent that tape out to the world like, not bad. What we're doing. A buddy of mine watches like death videos on the internet. I don't. He watches them. If we're hanging out, I'll watch. We watch. I watch. Look, I was over at his place. We were watching. I don't know if you noticed. The war in the Middle East is just on the internet. The whole fucking thing. Every dude out there on both sides was wearing GoPros the entire time. Like, you can watch it. We watched like 3 hours of the war in Iraq. And after the first hour, I found myself starting to cheer. Not cheer, but like... relate. I felt like I could relate more to the monkey bars guys. You know what I mean? They were a little more my speed. You ever wonder how you would do out there? Watch those guys. Those are just normal fucking dudes. Second shots are fired. There's no game plan. Everyone's, oh, shit! Very relatable. Guns jamming. Try to fire a rocket, it goes straight fucking backwards. They look like me trying to fire a gun. Their feet move when they shoot. Very relatable. They also never won. They got fucked up every single time. Bad. They would blow up like one truck every 5 months. They'd be just as surprised as everybody. Shit finally worked out. You could hear it in their voice. Someone would blow up, they'd be like, oh! Hello! It's like, yeah, dude, that's a human reaction. That's relatable. That's what I would do if I saw a fucking explosion. I'd go, oh! That's human. You ever watch us kill people? I can't relate to that at all. There's some Black Hawk helicopter with night vision, mows down like 40 people. Pilot gets on, he just goes, clear. Just flies away. It's like, yo, that's a psycho. That guy didn't give a fuck about that. At least ISIS is down there having fun, dancing afterwards. You know? It's like Ewok Village down there, you know? Also, I'm not actually pro ISIS. All right? It's just a Navy SEAL did fuck my girlfriend. And I am having a pretty tough time dealing with that. It sucks, dude. Can't get it out of my head. Some fucking cool, jacked hero. Just getting tactical on my sweet baby's pussy. Just clearing out every corner of my sweet angel's box. Just checking behind every door in there. Just clear, go, red team, advance. Now I'm in there fucking, oh! Look, I know we're laughing and having a good time, but for real, that does suck. That sucks. That absolutely sucks.
Let's take a look at this shit hoarder.
My
name is Shanna.
You ready?
Am I ready?
No one's ready.
I can definitely handle dirt. I don't have a problem with that.
Never.
I'm the only one I think who thinks this is hilarious.
I don't think it's fake, but I've been fooled before.
True.
It's my last blaze of glory.
At the end, dude, at the end they bulldoze the house and put her in an assisted living home. It's not like a happy ending of Hoarders. They just salt the earth.
That's so insane.
It's pretty fun though. Just a lady and her mom shitting in a bucket.
All right. Yes.
This is it.
Oh, we're on.
We're
Okay.
doing another history podcast. This time we've got the Colin Quinn.
Yes.
And today's topic is Vietnam.
Vietnam.
What a time.
Yeah. What a crazy time. I mean, in some ways, I feel like it's the most important. It changed everything. Plus, it was at that time, you know?
Yeah.
But it changed. I always feel like these things have like bigger, like what comes first? Vietnam makes people, was it a revolution where everybody's like, we're fighting against the system, or was Vietnam the thing that triggers it off? And it's, would it have happened without Vietnam? Would the 60s have happened without Vietnam?
Yeah.
Because Vietnam, as you know, I'm breaking out my extensive knowledge, started for America in the 40s.
Yeah.
And and it was because we were helping France, because we owed France from the Revolutionary War.
I was
What?
the thing I've looked into, dude, France dragged us into this to the point
I had
that's
no idea.
like, oh, France owned Vietnam.
Mhm.
It was a colony. Japan took it when they got a little wild.
Yeah.
And then the United States liberated it.
Okay.
And that was the thing. Ho Chi Minh, the guy who ended up being the leader of the Viet Cong, was like, I love America.
That's
he was
right.
like, he was
That's right.
He was writing letters to Truman
That's
saying
right.
like, I love you. Thank you. They were like, Americans are the only free people on earth.
Yes.
These are incredible people. The leader of them
Yeah.
loved America.
Yeah.
And then he started, this is the craziest part. So France goes back in after the war and is like, we're taking it back. And America was like,
Come on.
don't do that.
Yeah.
And we were kind of siding with Ho Chi Minh and the Vietnamese. And then France was like, this is the beginning of the Cold War. So France is like, hey, if you guys don't support us, maybe we'll start listening to Russia. And then America was like, all right, well, can help you out.
Damn.
Anyway.
That is interesting. And by the way, speaking of Ho Chi Minh writing letters to Truman, all those letters were redacted and like till like 1970 something.
And half of them Truman never got because the Secret Service was like,
wow,
he
I
doesn't
didn't
need
know
to
that.
see these. Yeah.
Yeah, making those decisions. Everybody made, but that's the whole thing about Vietnam too. Everybody's making their own decisions, determining. So the when you have power, you know, when you disperse power in that way, everybody goes, I'll take this part. And they're all just like,
And because of the Cold War, the Secret Service and the CIA were like, this is more important. Like the CIA versus the KGB in Russia and the Soviet Union, that became the two superpowers.
Yeah.
And they were doing stuff like undermining the president to be like, the war against Russia is more. I mean, I don't like Vietnam because of how frustrating and stupid it is.
Well, but first of all, the CIA, when you think about it, their whole thing was the Cold War first. So all the drug dealing that happened in the 70s and 80s was again from every cartel. The CIA, when they're like, okay, CIA, they would stop the DEA from doing their job all the time because they're like, the Cold War, these are anti-communists, but they're the heads of the cartels, but they're anti-communists, and that was their priority. So They made that choice, and I'm sure the president didn't want to make the choice, whoever it was during all those times, but that was the choice they always made.
Damn, then they did the Just Say No like 10 years later. And like, come on, guys, don't do drugs.
Just say no. But even Just Say No, they were still telling the DEA back.
Vietnam, the French. The French are fucking dickheads.
Dude. Brutal.
They were dickheads.
So they dragged us in. They
really absolutely dragged us in.
Hid the letters.
They dragged us in, but we wanted into. I mean, we could have left. We could have left 10. We could have left. I mean, I read this book, A Bright Shining Light. I just happened to be reading it. By the way, whenever you read a book, especially a Kindle, try to find out how many pages it is. First.
Oh yeah.
This book's 800 pages. Fuck. So I was reading it like, oh, this is A Bright Shining Light. It doesn't sound like a long book.
Yeah.
It's the history of everything. But France, they left. We helped them. So there was what turned Ho Chi Minh, one of the things that turned him is we supplied France with all these, all the mortars and everything where they destroyed a lot of innocent Vietnam, and that turned them against America too. Ho Chi Minh,
it was, there was a battle, I forget the name of it. So I was just watching the Ken Burns on it. What is it?
Dien Bien Phu?
Yes. So the French were kind of fucking up the Vietnamese. I mean, it was the same as us versus them. They had superior firepower. But again, just like time and time again, the Vietnamese were very good at guerrilla warfare because we trained them during World War II.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a little, Mujahideen type shit.
Yeah.
And they were about to come to talks. France and Vietnam, they were about to come to the table. Before they went to have talks, they both tried to get one more offensive in. So they had leverage when they went to talks.
Nice.
So France sets up at what's it? Bien
Phu, yeah.
They just put themselves at the bottom of this valley, and they're like, "We're just going to build an airfield here. We're going to fuck them up." One of the French generals was like, "I have too many guns. We're going to fuck these dudes up."
Damn.
And the Vietnamese surrounded them in this valley and just destroyed them. The French guy, the general that led that, killed himself honorably because he was like, "We're going to wipe the floor with these guys."
Why'd they go in a valley? Isn't that a bad? I'm not a military tactician, but isn't that like not the good idea?
Yeah, it was a bad idea.
Well, it's funny you say that because even Khe Sanh, the famous 14 years later, America did the same thing. Set themselves up was surrounded by all the mountains, so created a valley and set up an airstrip, a landing strip in the valley, and got killed because of it.
Damn,
I mean, it's really amazing. I mean, the other thing about Vietnam is you realize how you always think when you're young, at least, like the people in charge, they spend all their time doing this. They know what they're doing. But there were so many egos involved that the few people who were like, this is not working, they were just like, stop.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're saying. Just because of ego. People think, oh, their motive was they wanted money. They would still get the money. This was about like something else. It's a power struggle where you pay the price or the troops pay the price.
Oh, it sucks. Yeah, if you're just some dude sitting in a village and some guy had an argument and you're just getting blown up and you're like, what's this about?
And the other thing
some guy couldn't come to grips with it. He was like, no, I'm right.
In the early 60s, they had this Hamlet program where they said, we're going to bring all these weapons to each hamlet, all these little hamlets, because it was kind of half and half, like North Korea. And they brought all these weapons to all these hamlets and said, look, you're in charge of the weapons. And it was all American-made modern stuff. And of course, the Viet Cong, who kind of controlled more or less, they had the hearts of the people. They took all the weapons. So we supplied the Viet Cong with all these weapons in the early 60s, and it kept them going.
It genuinely makes me like all my information's from the Ken Burns documentary.
Right.
And I watch it, and every time I'm watching it, by episode 2, I'm like, what is going, like it doesn't make sense.
Well, I don't know if this was in the Ken Burns documentary, but did you see the guy? It is, I think it is. I saw the Ken Burns. He's Beckwith, with the guy, an advisor, Colonel Beckwith.
Oh, yeah.
Sergeant Charlie Beckwith. And he goes, they interview him and he go, what do you think of the Viet Cong? He goes, finest soldiers I've ever seen. This is in 1960. What? He goes, what? The Viet Cong. He goes, best soldiers I've ever, I wish I had 200 of them under my command. And right away, you're like, oh, we should have realized something was up then.
Well, they'd been fighting for 30 years. These dudes have been fighting since like World War II. They didn't stop fighting.
Really?
From World War II until the end of Vietnam, they were fighting constantly.
And their home territory.
Yeah.
And they're so small, they had to be crafty. All the tunnels, all the trails, they know everything.
Oh, fuck. Yeah. Was that the first American war where like the American troops were like, what's the point of this? the
I
first
think
time.
Korea, I'm sure they were a little bit like actually.
Yeah, Korea, MacArthur screwed up Korea.
Yeah.
MacArthur, everybody was like, don't do this. MacArthur's like, the people loved him.
Yeah.
The Korean people like, this guy's our savior. And he just was like a king over there.
Yeah.
And then he just said, we're going to do it this way. I forget, he landed on the coast. So he did something that was strategically a nightmare. And even his generals were like, don't do this. What are you doing? And he goes, I know what I'm doing. And
Yeah, that guy,
caused
he
a
had an
stalemate.
ego, dude.
That stinks.
He referred to himself in the third person.
Did he?
was fucking
Yeah.
nuts. Yeah, he was wild. MacArthur was wild.
Sucks.
He might get a bad rap though. I kind of like him.
Yeah, no, he was beloved. Look,
Yeah.
the people loved him because Japan loved him because after World War II, they were expecting, because they were so horrendous during World War II, they expected him to really bear down, and he treated them like, he said, you treat these people like human beings. So Japanese people treat him like a god. So he felt like a god.
That's tough to shake off. That would get me.
Yeah.
If I was getting like samurai glory, I'd be like, yeah, you know what?
I know. Even
Dudes
if
are like presenting you sword.
One of those
Yeah, I
cool
guess I am.
suits. If I had
Yeah.
one of those cool suits, I'm like, who do I also?
I think that's why God never even let me sell out like the Beacon or something like that. He keeps me at a level of 300 to 400 seats on the road, and there's a reason for it.
Oh man.
So what was it? So chronologically, the French direct. So we were like boys.
So it's
with
a
them.
French colony. Then there's World War II.
Yeah.
Japan takes over, and like always when Japan would invade, all the Asian countries were like, nice, finally the white colonists are gone.
Yeah.
We're gonna get treated well, and they immediately get starved to death and
Yeah.
beheaded and fucked with.
It sucks.
So then when the Americans liberated Vietnam, and the British, whoever, they were like, we love America. Then France after World War II, who just got their ass whooped,
Yeah,
they're like, actually, we want those colonies back.
nice.
Yeah.
And Vietnam was like, no, this is ours now.
Yeah.
We're independent again. So then
Do they have to write a letter to Vietnam like, hey, buddy,
we're coming back.
bad news?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry. We should start chronologically.
Yeah.
Let you.
What
all I
year?
watched is Ken Burns.
What? Oh, what are we talking about? Well,
I
yeah.
don't know. Whatever you want.
What you said. And then, so then France, when they lost, you know what I mean? The Geneva talks, I think it was the first Geneva talk back then, maybe not. But then,
That was the best one.
was that
That was
probably
the best one. First team was
we
the
were like,
best.
hey, I like Geneva, you know? And then we went in, Eisenhower said, we're just going to arm them in the 50s, you know? We're just going to keep arming them because we don't want communism to spread down there. And then, because China, they were about China taking over Vietnam. But Vietnam wasn't worried because they were half communist. Like you said, by that point, Ho Chi Minh was pro-American until that horrible event where the France destroyed like all these innocent villages, and then he turned on America because we supplied France. They didn't have
Fair enough.
In Bien Dien Phu,
Bien Bien Phu is when they got cocky.
America started supplying France because the only way the French could get anything was airdrops.
Yeah.
Because they were in a valley getting destroyed. Like 8,000 French dudes died.
Jesus.
Again, though, the Vietnamese lost like 3-1 casualties, but they were like, that's a victory.
Yeah. That's
They
what
would get wiped out constantly.
Yeah. That was, what was that one quote? Like, all we have to do is just stay here and just die.
And yeah,
That was one of the Vietnamese soldiers, like, all we have to do is just not become extinct and we win. And I was like,
It's great.
yeah, that's tough.
Well,
That
that's the
sucks.
problem with everything, right? I mean, anytime you go anywhere, the people that live there, they have nowhere to go.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, you're trapped. A trapped rat is going to fight to the death.
Yeah.
But
So-
then, yeah.
it got to the point where they're talking about like the United States was literally funding 80% of the French versus Vietnamese war. We were giving France 80% of the budget to
Damn.
win the war. Yeah.
Yeah.
France sucks.
France did a bad job, and then they left, and then we decided it's such a weird. I look at it so like psychologically, like what I understand about the domino theory was part of it, but
Yeah.
the psychological mindset you put yourself into. There was this guy Harkins, the general. He was the guy that ran it. He is really responsible in many ways because we go back and tell the president and these guys it's going good, but even then, the presidents, the ambassadors, they all went along. It just goes to show. I mean, I quote my mother all the time. I rest her soul, but she used to always say, "People," and I see this deeper and deeper in everything. And this is a perfect example. People are attracted to bullshit, and if you offer them something that's quality or truthful and bullshit, they go for the bullshit every time. And I said to my mother at the time, I go, "That's true most of the time." She goes, "I didn't say most of the time. I said every time." And Vietnam's a perfect example because he was this guy Van. This whole book, Bright Shining Lights, about this guy Van. It was in Vietnam. He was the early guy, and he's like, "Look, we're gonna lose." here's what's happening. The Hamlets, we're giving away our guns. The communists are taking, we're bombing village. We were search and destroy in 1963.
Jesus.
And he goes, we're losing everybody. We got to either win them over through like social revolution, the corruption of the South Vietnamese. They're taking everything. Their special forces that we trained are destroying people. This is terrible. We're losing. And everybody, even the people that kind of knew better, just went like, oh. And then somebody was like, no, we're just going to do this. And they're like, okay, let's do that. And it wasn't that it was easier. And they almost like willed themselves into, like, if you've ever been involved in like a TV or movie project, right? And everyone's sitting there and you start out going, it's got to be this. And then slowly you start to go, oh yeah, no that. And then somebody that wasn't involved in the first month walks in and goes, are you guys all gone crazy? And yes, you have. And
No
that's
one wants to say it sucks. They're like, no, this is good.
You start to believe it. You get in this stupor. And that's what I think happened in Vietnam with our military.
I mean,
You're on the set of Aquaman 6 and you're like, this still's good.
This might be the best picture.
And you ever go to a screening of a movie?
No.
And then I've gone to screenings of movies and you'll sit there and be like, that movie was really good. If you're around the movie,
Sure,
you know the cast, you know for the people. You're like, it was good, it was bad. And then if I've been with people that go, are you crazy? That was shit. And then later I'm like, I was in a state of temporary insanity. And I feel like that's what happened. For
Also,
years.
the domino effect bothers me. It just annoys me.
You don't like dominoes?
Obviously,
You
I crush dominoes.
No, you don't. I'll tell you, you don't like. You don't like that slippery slope theory. That's basically the domino effect, right? I agree. I don't like it.
When it comes to why we were in Vietnam, was they were like, well, if China's influence and the Soviet influence gets Vietnam, they're going to get all of Southeast Asia.
Yeah,
and it's like, so
well, but at the time, Russia had just taken all of Eastern Europe in the early 50s. So in the grand scheme of things, considering how people felt at that time.
I know they were scared of it, but it's...
I mean, it wasn't like just some crazy... It was like, wait, they just took Czechoslovakia, Hungary, all these places.
Yeah.
They're moving. Everybody in Europe is on the same page. Everybody's like post-World War II, and they're like, oh, they're going to move. Because everybody knew even in World War II, remember with Patton? Patton was like, we should go right into Russia.
Yeah.
Patton, by the way, an enemy of my family.
Really?
One of my uncles was 19 years old, World War II, captured by the Germans, POW camp for a year. German POW camp, 90 pounds. He's 19 years old. Maybe he's 20 by now. He's in the hospital when they finally release him. Patton's visiting all the wounded troops. Then he gets to the POWs. They go, do you want to, these are all the POWs. He goes, I don't talk to cowards. Patton says, he goes, I don't talk to cowards. You're supposed to die with your unit. I don't believe in POWs. So my uncle hated Patton. Every family get together, people like, especially when the movie Patton came out, it was like, hey, George, you're going to go see the Patton movie? And he's like, his name was George too. And he's like, beat it, you know.
Damn, he went and just snubbed the POWs?
He literally goes, he called them cowards.
Yeah.
My uncle's like 90 pounds. He's 19, 20 years old.
I mean, one of the opening scenes in Patton is when he's slapping a guy in the hospital.
Oh, yeah.
He's
that's
slapping
right.
him, calling him a fucking
For
coward
PTSD,
in the
that's
hospital.
right. That's right. The PTSD guy.
All right.
Yeah, that's... What a jerk. So...
Yeah, where are we at?
We're saying that you don't believe in the domino theory.
I mean, I understand at the time there's a hysteria. It's the same reason we went into Iraq. We were like, they're trying to kill us. They hate our freedom.
They do.
And after 15, 20 years, we're like, what was that?
Right. There was no weapons.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know.
Well, I remember that remember the book I was talking about, the George Friedman book, where it was the next 100 years and they predicted all that stuff? Remember like 2 weeks before Russia invaded Ukraine?
Yeah.
He was saying that U.S. is so far and ahead of everybody, like economically, militarily, that all they're trying to do is break up every alliance that forms.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not about winning wars, it's about just destabilizing.
But at this point, Russia was...
They're gaining.
They were pretty powerful. They just got the nuke.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden
But by the way, to that end, I think it was Ellsberg, the guy with the Pentagon Papers, which was a big thing. But when one of these guys was looking into the Russia thing in 1960, he was working with a nuclear, and he said it was shocking because they were like Russian. They were nowhere in the same ballpark with us. They had nothing compared to us. Really? And the military just had this, narrative in their head like Russia and us, and they were just child's play compared to us at the time. 58, 59, something like that. I think that was Ellsberg, Pentagon Papers, but I'm not sure. But something like that. But yeah, that was the other side of it.
Damn, so
we're
even that
fighting
was
here,
bullshit.
but they did take all those countries. I mean, that was real.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
all those countries are
Well, were they shit
Eastern
because
Europe
of
and
that?
Southeast Asia
But were they shit then, or were they?
because of
Because people say the same thing about any colony, you know.
Yeah, like you're talking like Macedonia, Bulgaria.
And but this brings up the
1400
question
BC.
about capitalism versus communism. How important is free will? That's the question. So I don't know. You know what I mean? I mean, that's what this whole thing is about, right?
yeah.
Yeah, or I think it's human organization schemes. Aren't there people at the top of communism who live like very well and kind of rule still anyway?
Yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's just kind of like a, which one do you want, peasants? It's like you get to compete and have fun, or it's like, or you share. And it's, you know.
Right. Yeah.
But
I mean, obviously, I
I'll
like
kill
capitalism.
communism.
I like the
Don't want
idea
it.
of capitalism.
The what?
Capitalism, I mean, obviously it's when it's unfettered, it's not going to work. But the idea of capitalism I like because it appeals to humans' nature's greedy side, which I feel like anytime you appeal to people based on something that's not so innocent, that's probably the healthy way to go. Because that's how people's nature is.
It's not repressed.
But if it goes too, obviously you can't have people just, doing whatever they want. That's a problem.
Just going
so-
into space.
Was that, yeah.
Just
Like, it was
guys
just
launching
crazy.
themselves into space.
I mean, the results are in. So far, it's one in terms of
Capitalism?
like remaining a thing in the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's one. It's one.
And yeah.
It's winning.
And
currently.
communism has to try harder to keep people from giving their opinion. So that means it's not a good system.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it doesn't work very well. We're dancing with that a little bit.
Yeah.
Not being able to say stuff. So
Oh, absolutely.
we'll see. Maybe that'll go well. Who knows? Maybe the whole thing will just collapse and we'll all fucking die.
I said it was a weird narcotic state where it's been kind of a thing after World War II. It's gone now, but where we're like, no, we don't really fail. Everybody wants this because it works so well. Not just World War II, the Marshall Plan even worked because we're dealing with all these countries and suddenly they're coming back. By 1960s, 50s, Germany's even back. So we're like the benign guys that we control things, but everybody's kind of like getting their thing who wants to be on the team. And then, we didn't realize there was a whole undercurrent. So like the overcurrent is Europe, then the undercurrent is the colonies. So all the colonies were rebelling starting in the late 50s.
Oh, yeah.
From Africa to, South America. And so there was that whole thing going on,
The vacay spots were popping
There was so
off.
much going on. Isn't it weird?
All the sandals.
The sandals resorts.
All the sandals resorts where they've had it up to here.
Yeah.
That makes
So
sense.
it was kind of a weird, it was an interesting time. if
I
you
can
really
see
think about it.
communism appealing to that.
Yeah.
You're down.
Oh,
with people.
Cuba. Look at Cuba with the whole mafia thing. It was such an interesting thing where it was like, they letting all these capitalist things, and then they were like, no, and Castro came in, and you know what I mean? Even though Cuba failed, they didn't like the corruption level that was going on. The same thing with South Vietnam.
Yeah. That was the thing. We propped up some dumbass.
We propped up a dumbass.
And we would never get rid of it. And then as soon as you saw that part, we were watching it.
Yeah.
We propped up this dude who just immediately started persecuting the Buddhists.
Absolutely.
Started.
Yep.
His wife was a monster who was like, good, I'm glad they're burning themselves.
Yes. His wife
it
and
was-
his brother.
Yeah, they were just morons.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we couldn't back off because we were like, it's still better than communism.
Yep.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Ho Chi Minh was kind of cool.
Right. He liked us at the beginning.
Yeah,
He
he was
wasn't
like-
totally into this thing. And then
Yeah.
Yeah. It's tough. It's like
but he
assistant.
became,
It's like
Yeah.
assistant manager.
Now,
energy.
did you know a lot of guys that were in Vietnam?
I knew a few. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a kid doing the whole thing,
Yeah.
And I remember as a little kid, you'd watch, it was on the news every day at 5 and 6 o'clock, you'd see the footage from Vietnam. So it was like such a part. It wasn't like I was shocked because I wasn't from the generation before that. That was all I knew. I was 7, 8 years old, 9 years old. But I remember seeing footage of Vietnam all the time on TV and the news, and it was just a constant thing. And I remember one time in class, we were talking about Vietnam. This is probably 71, or maybe 70. And the teacher or the kids were going, yeah, Vietnam is bad. And this girl in our class starts screaming and crying because her brother got killed in Vietnam. So I knew probably 3 guys, older guys, that didn't hang out with me, but I mean, I knew 3 guys that were Marines in Vietnam that got wounded, that came home, and they all had those cliche Marine personalities. I mean, Vietnam vet personality. The army jacket by themselves, the big beards when they're home, heavy drinker, heavy smoker, prone to outbursts, but still good guys. Like they were guys we like, they weren't like people hung out with them and talked to them, but they had that other side to them, partly from being in the war, partly from what they did, partly from what Vietnam did, and partly from their reaction when they came home. It wasn't like you walk around, people weren't going, thank you for your service either, you know.
Yikes. That stinks.
Yeah, so I knew a few guys, yeah.
Yeah, that was the thing we were talking about. O'Connor brought this up. We were talking about last night. He's like, imagine today's college student. Imagine
Jesus
being
Christ.
a dude who got drafted and
Yeah.
had to go live through hell. And then you get home and one of these fuckers throws like a bag of piss at you and is like, baby killer. Like, yo.
Right. Oh my God.
That's when I would join the Ohio National Guard and I would head down to Kent State and say, fuck you guys.
Yeah, true.
That's yeah. But it was interesting that they all did have that personality.
Yeah.
Even the guys I knew, guy across the street, my friend's brother, was a Vietnam vet that didn't fight. He was a airplane mechanic, and even he was screwed up.
Fuck.
Yeah.
My uncle was a Marine, and he never talks about it. Ever. Like literally never talks about it. One night he and I got drunk and he opened up about it.
Really?
And it was wild. He saw a fucking Chinook get hit and just spun. Dudes flew everywhere. I mean, it was. Now my other uncle was in Vietnam and he is a little more he's a little more sociopath, like psycho. That's like I killed a guy. Yeah. And I was like, how was that? And it was just me and him and he goes, it's incredible. I was like, yo.
I told you, I knew a guy who was a sniper, and he was saying, he's like, you get addicted to the feeling of killing people. And he was like, he was a nice dude. He's like, I didn't have like ill will towards people, but he's like, I like would watch people eat dinner, and as soon as they finish, right in the head. He's like, by like the 12th one, he's like, you get like a God complex, and you're like, I'm ending this. God done.
Damn.
Yeah.
So you just watch people hang out.
The guy in Vietnam. I've told you this before. It was like a 90-degree trail, and you couldn't see around the corner. So he's walking one way. A Viet Cong was walking up the path. He said they literally bumped into each other in the jungle, and then it was just a race to see who could get who could get their gun out faster, and he got his out.
Woo!
First.
Jesus Christ!
Now he's still. I mean, and then he got hit with a rocket propelled grenade. And he blew. His nipples missing, his calves off. Yeah, and he had to lay there. Because they're in the middle of a firefight. He had to lay there for 3 hours on the jungle floor like, I'm dead. I'm dying for sure. Yeah. I mean, he's a hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, and is it that different from war? Like, my father was in Korea and Korean and war, and he said the most disturbing part was, which is still chilling, that the lieutenants or the officers would nightly bring in the Korean prisoners and beat the living shit out of him, and always like, hey, Brooklyn, you want a piece? And he's like, no, thanks. And it would just like just torture the guys, just beat them for fun. So it was already starting to lose the
the glamour of World War II.
And then but Vietnam is a different, like, I feel like this setup, even though it happened in World War II, it happens in every war, the setup of search and destroy is what fucked them all up. Because here you are, you grow up in the 50s, you're watching these movies. You have a little bit, even if you're not innocent, you know you're capable of, but you still, and then suddenly you're in the middle of this thing where they go, no, you have to burn all these Hamlets. Because like I said, the Hamlet program, the Vietnamese took over the Hamlets. So they go, and the Vietnamese are in there. And whether they are or not, they're in enough where you're like, okay, it's them or me. And so you're torturing all these peasants out of their house, torching their village.
Burning their...
That's like the strategy.
How long did they do that for?
Strategy.
How long did they do that
the whole
for?
time?
The whole entire
from
they just went there to burn
1963.
villages down?
Yeah.
From 1963.
Jesus Christ.
And they said even, that's what Morley Safer was, the guy from 60 Minutes. I always thought that was an annoying guy, But meanwhile, he was a reporter, and they filmed in 1965 torching of a Hamlet. 1965, early in the war. And that's when everyone started protesting the Vietnam War, because they watched on TV. They're like, wait, this is like liberating France. What's going on here? It was just all these peasants running. They're torching the house and shooting the pigs. Like that was on the national news, on the evening news.
That's what you were watching?
Well, I don't remember that, but I'm saying, but people shot the whole country. That's when the protests began.
Because we were the good guys. We
I
were
got
always
you.
the good guys.
But
We're always a good
was
guy.
the news showing it
We were
like,
the-
check us out. Never like, boo. Or like,
No, the news was like, hey,
This is
That's
crazy.
because the news was doing their job.
true. Yeah.
And they're like, here's what's
Yes.
actually happening.
No, right. They just shot. And Morley Safer had to leave. Like, they were threatening him because they were saying he took it out of context. He didn't, which he probably
took
did
it
too.
out of context.
Well, I'm saying
Yeah.
they weren't saying that they had been getting shot, like Marines had gotten shot from that village.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm saying it wasn't like, but I mean,
No,
it
they were
still,
bad.
it was a stupid strategy.
But see, this is what happened. And it was
Yeah.
crazy because the French had just done it before us.
Yes.
So they did this thing called pacification where they were like,
Right.
they tried to do the social set. Like they were like, we're going to help build your rice paddies up. We're going to give you food. We're going to build schools. And during the day it worked. And then at night the Viet Cong would come in, take the food,
That's
take
right.
the fucking guns, hide guns in the villages, hide weapons,
Yes.
hide soldiers. So then during the day they'd come back and they'd just keep getting supplies and they'd do raids from the villages with the weapon the French gave them.
Yeah.
And then so the French would come back and be like, we know you're harboring communists.
Oh, Jesus.
And they would burn the village down. And then we did that. We did the exact same thing.
And then under the thing of like, we don't want communism to spread, which is funny to be like, we don't want you want to be free, guys. Trust me. And you're like burning villages down. Like, trust me, this is
Well,
better.
and I think we did the same thing kind of in Afghanistan, right? In Iraq, where it
Instilling
would be like,
democracy?
we're going to give you guys money, work with us. And then the Taliban comes in at night and is like, puts a gun to their head and is like,
Well,
you work with us.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's the whole problem with everything, right?
Yeah.
If you go to some, if the cops go to a neighborhood bar, the only analogy I ever use and everything is a neighborhood bar. And but if they go to a neighborhood bar and go, listen, we want you guys to do a couple of troublemakers in here, and the troublemakers are in there. Or they're outside waiting for these guys to leave.
yeah.
They're not there. They're only going to be there part. They know you're going.
Yeah.
You're not there to stay forever. So it
Yeah.
always ends up screwing you.
Yeah. And if we don't kill them at night, they're going to come get beheaded.
Well,
by
Isn't
the
that what happened in
communists.
Vietnam? I
Yeah.
mean, once they took over,
Exactly.
they came out all that stuff. They just destroyed. Genocide got rid of everybody that bugged them. And everybody with a pair of glasses. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
It's like
how'd you get those?
They literally went. Well, just anybody who's sort of
Yeah.
fancy themselves intellectual. It was like it's like the army came in and literally just rampaged through Bushwick, Williamsburg, and Greenpoint in the past 3 years.
Nice.
And just
I get
everybody
it.
here
I
who's
get it.
everybody here who's been to a show at a bookstore. Just line up.
Just burn the bookstores.
Yeah, it's I mean, that's the thing about that's why I never really got into Vietnam. I like the Civil War and World War II where it's like it's kind of noble.
Right. It seems
And
like
then Vietnam is the first one that's like
well, it's so. But even Korea was like a harbinger. It's all like
Korea,
so
yeah.
psychological. And I had another uncle who fought in World War II and fought with Audie Murphy. Do you know who Audie Murphy was?
no, who's that?
He's the most famous World War II hero.
Okay.
Like they made him a movie star. He wasn't a good actor, but he was this legendary World War II. My uncle happened to be in his unit.
Oh wow.
And he said that all the hype, to show you the difference in the war, all the hype about him was true. He goes, this guy was the bravest. He goes, he was so crazy. He'd run right into battle.
Yeah.
They were at Anzio. They were at Battle of the Bulge. All these places. He goes, he would just run right into battle.
He's nuts.
and in those days, they'd celebrate now
Like,
in
man,
World War
that's a
II.
hero.
Even any movie about Iraq, there's still an undertone of darkness. All the World War II movies, they're like, hey, there's no problem here.
Yeah. Kick their ass.
Yeah, like
That's
this guy's great. It had like a positive
Like
tone to it.
John Basilone.
What's that?
Guy? He was in the Pacific. There's a rest stop in New Jersey, like one of the first rest stops. That's what he got out of it.
Oh.
He got the Medal of Honor.
That's awesome.
It's in the Pacific, and he goes wild, picks up his gun without the fucking heat pad, just mows down the jet, and then he goes home. So they put him on a USO tour to send bonds, and he's like, "No, I need to go back and fight."
Yeah.
So then he goes to Iwo Jima and is like, "I'm going to do that gun thing again,"
What?
and he died.
Oh no.
Yeah, he
Bust out
died.
the trick.
But he got
Yeah, boy, like
was
he
a-
does a side choice. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, my
But
mom's
he got
cousin
a
did
rest
3
stop.
tours in Vietnam. He
Really?
did one, and he's like, send me back, and did another, and he's
Whoa.
like, give me one more.
Who did it?
My mom's cousin.
Wow.
He did
3
he
tours?
did 2 more. He
3. Wow.
He was like, I'm not going back. I'm gonna do. I'm
And
gonna
what did
stay
he
here.
end up doing? after the war?
I saw him like spazzing, fighting an arcade owner on the boardwalk one time.
That was Charlie.
Good man. He's a good
that was
man.
Charlie, dude.
Dude, he was.
But that's the whole point, yeah.
He was with my mom the one time when they were younger, and he was sleeping in the car, and some guy like screamed something at my mom, and he like popped up and just got out and beat the shit out. They were in traffic on the highway.
Yeah.
He beat the guy and throw him on the side of the road. And he's like, "Come on, let's go."
Imagine that guy. He sees a woman in a car. He's like, "Fuck."
The guy
And
sits
the guy
up.
pops up.
Yeah, dude, just pops
That's a
up.
Vietnam
Fresh
vet.
from 3 tours. Yeah, I think it was like 74. Just pops up like what?
Can you imagine 3 tours? I mean, I mean, 2 tours is crazy, but at least you feel like during the second tour, the guy's like, what did I say yesterday?
Yeah.
But if you go for 3, that means you're like in all the way.
Yeah.
That's when I told the dude I was talking to, was my ex-father-in-law. I was telling him about my mom's cousin. He's like, oh, that guy just likes killing people.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe.
I mean, he probably just. There's also the guys.
Everyone's
that
got their thing.
You go there. True. You go there, and then you go home, and you're like, I can't be home after.
Yeah.
You're just in the fucking jungle.
Yeah.
Killing
Yes.
people. Now you got to go pretend to be a human.
Yep.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
when you get off the road for a long time.
Yeah.
Say it happens to cops. It happens to cops to a lesser
Did it
degree.
with a friend. What's that? Yeah.
It happens to cops too.
Yes.
They get addicted to that adrenalized state and they go home. They're like, this sucks.
Sure.
And they stay there forever.
And
Get fat.
but the other thing with Vietnam, which I've watched a lot of those YouTube guys where they interview, and you see the similarities in them eventually. And one of them is that they said they got screwed. First of all, just imagine this: supposed to be the country sending all this money for aid. Several of them said the sea rations were terrible. He goes, we looked at the date on some of them. They were Korean and World War II.
Yikes.
That's how old the sea rations were.
Jesus.
That they're giving to the troops at supposedly the richest time in our history. And the other one is the M14. They said the M16 got more guys killed when they switched to the M16 because Westmoreland wanted, or one of these guys it was like a vanity project. The M14 wouldn't jam in the mud. The
I did hear
M16
that, yeah.
jammed, and they said guys would just be getting killed, bayoneted to death because it would
Christ.
jam and you couldn't unjam it. The M14 was, the early gun was better.
It sucks.
Yeah. America really fucked up. I don't like it.
But yeah,
The whole thing just
whole thing was
bums
just-
me out.
yeah,
And then each president had an opportunity to end it.
yeah, that's right.
And they all just keep dragging it out.
But that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying about that
Yeah.
state. Kennedy.
Yeah. He was close to ending it.
He was, but he
Yeah.
wasn't.
Well, they
You know what I
they
mean?
made
Like-
sure he didn't.
And they said, and this guy Van was talking to Henry Cabot Lodge, who was the ambassador, all the guys who were close to Kennedy. And it was just one of those things where it's like, just at the last minute, it's like any other decision you've seen in any power person, where you're like, everybody has this logical argument, and then they go, no, I think this is better.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? Why? You don't even give us a reason. And he never give us a reason.
There was
Was there any kind of economic advantage that like was clear?
I don't think so.
Really? They didn't
I don't
even
think
like
there was
make
any-
any. Yeah, I guess there was
No.
nothing really there.
I mean, there was
Babes,
rubber. No, there was
babes.
rubber. All the shit that was there was gone when we left.
True.
Yeah.
Rubber, coconuts, all the rice. It was all gone. I mean, we killed it.
Damn, that sucks.
I mean, Agent Orange. I mean, when you think about it.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Agent Orange killing all the people. They said their levels of whatever dioxin were 3 times anybody else by the time we left. And all the troops. I mean, doing it to your own troops is just crazy. I mean, that's the height of like immorality, you know, to just
yeah.
the guys that are there fighting and you're just
Yeah.
like, yeah, well, you know, it's like, no, they're the ones you have to really try to be a little more careful with, the opposite of what you're doing. It was really a weird situation, you know.
also the French were using napalm too.
They were before us.
Yeah, they were. We did everything they did.
Sounds like a French
the
word.
exact
Napalm.
same thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what that is?
Yeah,
They
that's-
just
was it-
gel.
Yeah. Isn't it like petroleum
Yeah.
gel and they light it on fire and you
Yeah.
spread it if you like touch it?
You,
Try to put
you
water
don't have
on
to
it.
light it
Yeah.
on fire. It just goes on your body. It burns.
Yeesh. And water makes it worse, right? Because if you take a
Yes,
grease fire, put water on
right.
it, it gets worse. Yeah, it stinks. And I mean, but France really wanted Vietnam, so
Well,
They
they had
loved
them
it.
before that.
Yeah,
they wanted it back. I mean, they had it, they lost it. They're like, I think we can get this back.
they want their baby back.
Started
But
spreading
what
some
is-
fire on people.
Yeah. What is it
Oh.
about Vietnam that's so, because we apparently wanted it too. We went in there in the mid-50s and we couldn't leave. You ever go to a party and you're like, I gotta leave. This party's over.
Oh yeah,
And it's like,
it's
and
like you know,
you
yeah, I
gotta
guess
get
I will
up.
do some coke.
You're saying
I
it was
guess
2
I will
a.m. It
live
was 2
here.
And
a.m.
you
in
end up going,
Vietnam.
if only I had left at 11 o'clock like I planned to. That's Vietnam.
This probably is just a psychological thing. It's like you want to be the best general. You start losing. You're like, we got this. And it's like, no, we should have this. Hear me out. This is my passion project.
Yeah.
This is my baby.
Yeah. I mean, that's the other thing. Everybody was just about, you know, the military. Like their job is to get more money for the military. How can you get more money if you're not in a war?
So how did what do you like? How does this thing progress? What do you?
Yeah.
How does it end? What's going on?
Vietnam.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it ended when we left. It was the most. It was really. They're lucky. It was the mid '70s. It was like '75. That famous rooftop thing.
Saigon. Yeah.
They're lucky because by then everybody was. It was like the age of apathy when I was a teenager. People were just into drugs, you know, dancing, and you know, it was just a very hedonistic time. People were done. All the protesting that happened in the '60s, people were done by the '70s. You know what I mean? And they're just like, yeah. And so when people left, there wasn't even outrage. It was like, oh, that was awkward.
That was a bummer.
That was
Damn.
just people were just like, whoa.
Yeah.
It
Coke and
looked so
disco,
bad.
yeah.
And you feel bad for all the people that you know, all the Vietnamese that were still helping us by the end were fucked.
Yeah. Like that
They got
famous
killed.
that helicopter on the roof.
The helicopter.
That picture. That's a long line.
Yeah.
And that's the last chopper.
That's right.
Those boys
Last
are
shot.
staying, and that's
right.
a negative time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
When that chopper takes off and you're like next in line.
I've
Should've
had
got
that.
here
I've had a
5
similar
minutes
experience.
earlier.
I was at Longwood Gardens waiting for a shuttle to like go see the shuttles. Like I was like the last guy. I had to wait like 15 more minutes. I was like,
Yeah, I
my
know
God, I
that.
don't know what happened. It settled down. It's better now.
No, it's not.
That's not tearing. The damage is done.
I mean, that's the thing. The power shift immediately,
Yeah.
and all the people, like when you think about the people right now in your life that you were like, fuck you, and then if suddenly they're in power, they go, where is this son of a bitch? Doria, where does he live again?
Yeah.
And then you know, you just hope they, you know,
Well,
accidentally mistake you for Mike Feeney and kill him.
yeah, but what's it like? So you grew up watching Vietnam, and
Yeah.
then what was it like for you to see like the Iraq War and all? Because the older I get, the more I'm like, I already saw this before.
I believed that there were weapons of mass destruction.
They got you too.
They got me. I believed it all the way. I said, there's got to be weapons of mass destruction. It wouldn't be this, you know, they wouldn't be going to this extreme after Vietnam.
They wouldn't be
if it
our
wasn't
leaders.
true.
Oh.
They're not going to be fooled twice.
Wouldn't be this diabolical.
I said they can't be that stupid, you know, or diabolical. Either way, I said there's no way there's not weapons of mass destruction.
It wasn't.
I mean, I was a kid.
Me and the Senate believed this.
Yeah, you and Hillary Clinton.
All of us, yeah.
I was
Only a few didn't.
I was a kid, and it was 2003.
Yeah.
So I was fresh off 9/11. I was an 8th grade patriot.
I had a bone to pick. Yeah.
I was pretty
yeah.
much a troop. At
Yeah,
this
they
point.
had you. They had you.
4 years later, I'd be going to West Point.
Yeah, they had you.
I was ready.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
Vietnam,
warmed my
or
seat up.
Iraq. I was pumped. I was
Yeah.
watching the. You remember when you
I like the
watched the
fact that he
news?
thinks you get into West Point. You know, that's a hard school to get into.
I got it.
He was in.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm
I
very
went.
impressed. You did?
Yeah. Well, I quit right away, but I went.
Oh, that's impressive.
Yeah.
What do you have to get on your SATs to get into a place
I
like
played
that?
football. That helped.
Oh.
Yeah, they got me in for that.
Yeah.
I got like an 11 something on my SATs.
Yeah,
Nothing.
it's
Yeah, it's a
Better
little
than me, but it's not that good.
little above average. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's potential.
I
1100.
got 1030.
I was 1100.
For football, that's a fucking 1600.
Yeah.
I didn't even know the Matrix brothers transed.
Dude, aren't they like?
You guys have been talking about this.
Yeah.
I think I heard it from you before.
The brothers who made the Matrix are ladies now. They're ladies.
I was looking at HBO, and it was like great directors. And it was just a movie collection by, you know, it was like Scorsese, it was like Raging Bull and shit.
Yeah.
And then it got to the Matrix, and it was like the Wachowskis sisters. And my first instinct was, I was like, no way girls wrote. No way. I was like, there's no way women wrote the fucking Matrix. I Googled it. It's just dudes in wigs.
You do have the dividing rod, dude. You
Yeah,
knew.
absolutely.
You're like, wait a second. That's.
I was like,
fucking
there's
cool.
no way girls wrote the Matrix. That's impossible. They married dudes? All right, good.
Oh my god.
I'm happy with that. At least they're following the Bible.
What? True. I thought they better be submissive wives too. I thought
Definitely.
they married.
Hold up. One of them trans first,
What?
which is really funny.
Copycatted.
Because then the other one, who's like a big bald dude, was like, nah, me too. He looks like Kane, dude.
Yeah.
He f***ing looks like Kane with a wig. It's wild. He looks like the big red machine, dude.
Whoa.
No offense to the Matrix bros. We support you.
Queens.
That's great. They probably remember
support
those.
you,
Remember
Queens.
those two blonde dreadlocked fighters? They kind of like trans into those.
Yeah, they did.
Oh.
We are getting aggravated.
They would, the Wachowski queens.
I could see that though. Those were pretty cool characters. I could see them being like, let's just
I wish I was a albino black guy
and a girl.
that did karate, and now I'm a girl also. You were the one, I think, who put me onto this, because you were like, the new Matrix is about being trans or something like that. Somebody told me the Matrix was about being trans, and I was like, shut the f up, dude.
Oh,
Not
it could
everything's about trans people. And then last night I was like, holy shit, it's about trans people.
Morpheus is just their hormone doctor.
Yeah.
You're here because you know something. What you know you can't explain, but you feel it. You felt it your entire life. That there's something wrong with the world. You don't know what it is, but it's there, like a splinter in your mind.
Take these pills. I'm getting paid $80,000 to trans this 12-year-old.
Can you believe that's going to be a national issue? Like, did you think for a second when those goddamn planes hit those towers
that this is where we'd be?
Yeah, man.
Remember how unified we were?
I know.
Now we're all fighting over dongage. What is it, guard dog? What did you find?
Lily and Lana are their names now.
Lily and Lana Wachowski?
They used to be Larry and...
Just dodging.
They used to be Larry and Chuck.
Chuck and Larry. Larry and Andy turned into
Damn.
Lily and Lana.
Imagine dodging a load. Just.
Oh. Yeah, right. They'd be like. Like a astronaut drinking water.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's funny. I know you're not allowed to say stuff like this anymore. It's undeniably funny that the Matrix brothers trans, and one of them looks like me. That was just like, I'm a girl now.
No matter how much would you pay?
Which Wachowski brother? Obviously, the pink-haired Wachowski brother could get it.
One of them hot.
One of them's better.
Yeah. Let me see. I gotta jump into.
Yeah,
this.
the first one's doing a good job.
The second one looks like Kane, dude.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, there's a bit of a discrepancy between the sisters. I haven't had that much money before. Imagine coming out with a fucking Matrix. That's crazy money. I might trans if I got like $45 million.
Yeah, you'd be like, all right, let's see what else is going on. I don't like that the brother waited. The pink hair, the hot Wachowski brother sister went first. 3 years later, 4 years later, the Big Red Machine. That's Kane and Undertaker. Undertaker was in the, and they're like, we have the Undertaker's brother. Double choke slamming. I am not a man.
Yeah, what kind of conversation even is that, man?
Dude, sitting there drinking some vino with your brother, and he's like, dude, it's pretty nice.
Well, I guess you don't really know,
Oh,
though.
man.
You know, it's like, well, you came out like kind of like a hot lady. I'll probably be a hot lady, too.
Yeah.
And you come out, I mean,
Somebody,
what is the other side
I'm stealing
like?
someone's joke, but you're still taking dude dumps. Dude. You'd be the hottest. You'd be the hottest too.
True.
You're still painting the porcelain.
Yeah, but girl dumps are pretty wretched shit, too, man.
Yeah, but it's like two
Yeah.
hot snakes dumped in there. It stinks like hell. Coming, it's like perfume and shit.
Yeah, they don't have the force. You're right. They don't have the
They
fucking...
don't have the fucking. They don't have the. I got to race to take a shit constantly. It just.
That might be what that chromosome difference is. It just has, dudes have more air in their assholes to go
explosive.
It's like the bank thing when it sucks the. Either girl turds come out like.
Google pictures
like
of women.
Out.
Shit.
I think women like deliver turds.
Yeah.
It's like.
We should Wachowski.
You'd have to.
Obviously on the Big Red Machine.
You don't know. It's like a scratch off. You don't know what's underneath you as a woman. Who knows?
I'd like to see you, Sean. Get rid of that facial hair.
What kind of dudes do you think would be interested in you?
Me?
Yeah.
You gonna make me say it? Nate Marshall would. Nate would pound my cheeks, dude. Nate Lemaire would be lining up. Lameezy, you don't like that joke?
Yeah, I don't know.
Pog.
That
Fat
was
ass
a
white
360 alley oop, dude.
Kirby type.
Come on, man. You know who's chasing me down the street? That guy who's arguing in the bodega, he's gonna follow me. God damn, you look good. Leave me alone. I've got to watch a Ulysses S. Grant documentary. Get your hand off my snake. Dude, my dreams,
no one could stop
I'd
it.
be blacked immediately, dude. My boyfriend would stand me up. I would go to the hotel, call up the big dogs. Damn, that'd be a wild video. That big Wachowski must be getting crushed, dude. The big Wachowski. The big Wachowski. The dude. The dude.
Nobody called me Lebowski. You got the wrong guy. I'm the dude, man.
Such a harsh name. That's a tough one. Wachowski. That's a tough name, dude.
Maybe it rules. I don't know.
Get a tubular sniz, dude. Get a nice sniz. Get a nice wet one.
Yeah, true. Well, isn't it? I've heard that your sniz can only be as big as your dong was, depth-wise.
Ooh, I'm gonna have a tight little sniz.
I have a little snapper, bro.
People are not gonna be able to.
I have a little smallmouth bass, dude.
The men hollering at me are gonna be a little disappointed. I'm gonna go, oh, it hurts. I'm gonna go, Jesus, mister. Rip me open, mister.
You have to start giving up the A, I guess. That'd be the only choice.
Taking the A?
Yeah, my A goes on for miles, bro.
When you get older, you're laying in bed at night. I shouldn't have said all that shit about the Wachowski brothers. I don't know what type of battle they're going through.
I mean, yeah, who knows? They could have had the most heinous backstory. Now that you think about it.
Yeah, obviously.
You know,
they had some Agent Smiths coming right at them. What if you see their dad? He's just in a suit with glasses. Like, oh, that's where it's from. It's clearly that.
Hello, friends, family, the boys, what up? Media, all my fans around the world. I know many of you think this is a time of celebration. With my 4th PGA victory just days behind me, it would seem as if the world is at my fingertips. But it is not. There's something I need to say. I have not been getting as much pussy as I've said. What the fuck? I know that my public image has been defined by my love of pussy, but the truth is I barely get any.
What?
When I say I'm getting pussy, I'm usually practicing. Many of you have seen this picture of me at the strip club. This was not me. This is what I was doing that day. That picture at the strip club is actually my manager, Henry.
Chaz, come on, man.
Henry's taking more pussy from me than anybody could ask.
What the? Chaz, my fucking wife's here, man.
You married a hero. For a long time, I played into the rumor that Jessica Alba and I had sex. But what really happened that night in the hotel was this. Jessica texted me. She said, hey, I'm in room 402, and this hot tub feels a little empty. To which I responded, I'm in room 506 watching Beetlejuice. God damn it. It's not every day that guys that look like me, average guys, are offered the top-notch primo box that I've been offered and turned down. And for that, I apologize to all the fellas out there. I'm sorry I let you down. My sponsors, Under Armour, Rolex, and Ferrari have all dropped me, claiming that my moral compass does not align with the values of the predominantly under 5'8" customer. My first, and now only sponsor, Dave's Lazy Lube, has decided to stick with me and believes that deep down, I could always be the pussy hound that I claimed I was. Dave's Lazy Lube will stick with you, but not to you. To my wife, Tracy. She thought she married a winner, but it turns out I'm just a fucking normal guy who does pussy shit, like hangs out at home and stuff.
Do you think your long ball is going to be a problem on the narrow fairways at Augusta?
Fuck up, man.
Yo, chill.
What's that got to do with anything?
To answer your question, I'll probably play great. I don't have any distractions at all. I just focused on this since I was 8 years old, and then I got so good at it and made millions of dollars. And then I married a beautiful woman, and I'm a loser for it.
I would like to announce that I'm stepping away from the game because I want to spend time with the boys. Boys. I want to be a better role model to them. I want to do stuff they would think is cool. I want to kiss porn stars on the mouth in front of strangers at the Panera Bread. I want to get like a waitress or something pregnant and then have to like just settle and give her a large amount of money out of court. And then one day, my illegitimate boy is older. He can look back and be proud. He can be proud of his father. And then Dave's Lazy Loop for when you got a whole lot of heart on, but not a lot of time.
Dude, I was thinking about what a dickhead I was. I was doing the dishes, and I was like, I had like a vivid memory of reading. I remember reading the science book and seeing Homo sapiens when I was little and being like, oh my God, she's going to say homo in school tomorrow. And it was like waking up, being like, and like eating my breakfast and being like, fuck science classes third period. I remember waiting for like 24 hours and then hearing her say Homo sapiens and being like,
And no, did anyone go with you?
My cousin was definitely down.
Your cousin.
I called on the way to the bus. I'm like, yo,
Dude.
teacher's going to say homo today. And he was like, get the fuck out. I'm like, dude, I read the
Just
science.
watch.
They say it. Dude, I'm just sitting there like, I was doing dude, I like vividly remember that, being like stoked.
It's
being
game
like,
day.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, this is what we play for.
Teacher's going to say homo.
Yeah, this is game day. All that work. Now let's have fun today.
I was doing the dishes at 34 and I was like, that was hilarious. that was so funny.
Actually, 5th grade, we had somebody come in to give us like a sex ed class type thing. And I remember writing a question, so he would have to say gay. I wrote a question. I said, can boys like other boys? And he was like, now, Shane. He walked over to me and was like, did you write that? Because he knew it was me. And I was like, yes. And he was like, I had to stay in character, dude. I had to be like, yes, I wrote it. And he was like, do you really want to know that answer? And I was like, yes. And he was like, those are called homosexuals. I had to like stay in character like, oh, how about that? That's something you don't learn every day. Which is so funny because that dude obviously knew I was being an asshole. He just had to watch a 5th grader pretend to be like, yes. Yes. Yeah, that was the one, dude. Yes. Yes. Do you really want to know this answer? Yes.
I think I'm OD'd on Peppermint, dude. So fucking funny.
Dude, that's crazy. It's crazy we both have that origin story. Like trying to make someone say gay. And being like, got him.
That was my whole agenda for the day. I was like, teacher's going to say gay. I'm going to look around, make eye contact with as many people as I can.
Oh, fuck, dude.
Man. You're making a fool of me, and it hurts. So stop. Stop, or something bad's going to happen. You're not gonna
You
like
should start every
Remember
time.
being 8 and being like, "You're not gonna like me when I'm angry."
I would just cry.
Yeah.
I would just cry. I would cry.
You didn't think
spaz.
you were you didn't think you were Wolverine or Hulk?
No,
Someone
no.
would get me going. I'd be like,
I would like strike out and I would strike out. I would strike out in kickball and get ridiculed off my front lawn and run inside. I'm like, they're like, shut up, man, shut up. I'm like, just
Yeah.
run inside. And then, dude, it's funny. You just black out and you come back like, what's up, bros? You completely forget about it.
"Can I play again?" Yeah, get in here.